Hey, this is Deepak Patel, and in this video, I'd like to share an insight for financial advisors, financial planners, or anybody who is focusing on selling financial solutions. And what I like to talk about is an old way of trying to get clients. And what I see in talking to my clients, and also by running some campaigns for some of the advisors, I started to see that there's an old way of doing things, and then there's a new way of doing things. And the old way, what I see most advisors do, is as soon as they try to find prospect and they do prospecting, they try to get this meeting in person, right? They got this in-person meeting syndrome, if you will, which is like, I see messages like, hey, do you have some time for a coffee? Can we go out for a drink? And this is like advisor asking their prospect, and they're trying to get in person, right? Because there's this old school sales methodology that meeting people in person, taking them out for drinks, going to fancy restaurants and all that will allow you to build relationship with them, get to know them, and now they're going to do business with you, right? And I know this because I practiced that for almost 8 to 9 years in my career, where I spent many years in corporate sales. Now, in that environment, it was different because we were selling it to large, clientele. Taking people out was a norm, and honestly, I did it because that's the kind of sales training I got. That you should take people out and then do business, and we did pretty good amount of business because we were selling software and solutions and services. And but even then, to be honest, if I were to go back, which obviously I won't, but if I were to go back, I wouldn't do it because if I look back, the amount of time I spent, and I think there was a stretch of a year and a half where I was working with this client, early days of sales. I think there was a time where I was eating out in pretty good restaurants, like 6 to 7 times a week, like lunch and dinner, different times, different clients, and sometimes you would drive to the place for like 45 minutes, go and come back. You know how it is when you go for dinner, you're spending like a couple of hours at least, when they're especially busy. And we did all that, and we took people out to the games and like basketball games and all that. And again, it works, but again, as an advisor, when you're trying to get people with asset, and of course, if you have somebody with like $5 million asset or $2 million asset, those high net worth people, you may have to do that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I think making that your first response is pretty dangerous for your time. If you're trying to talk to people on LinkedIn and immediately offer them to go for lunch and drink, I think it's not A, it's not necessary, and B, it could be actually taken against you, because like, who wants to spend time these days with a total stranger that they believe is going to sell them something? Because advisors are considered as salespeople, which they are, and there's the sales fear in these people, and you're now magnifying the fear by asking them for a bigger commitment. So what you need to do here is what in sales language is called micro commitment. And micro commitment really is no lunch, no drinks, none of that, not even coffee, no in-person meeting, but just a 15-minute phone conversation, right? And you need to really have a value-based conversation, because you can't tell them, hey, can you just come to the phone call and tell me everything about you, and I can see what I can do. Well, that doesn't work well. It does work to some degree, but not very well. And there's a process to put a value where if they join call with you for 15 minutes, they are going to get some tangible value. And that approach works great, especially if you're using social media approach and strategy, which means now you can have 10 of those meetings per day as opposed to have 4 or 5. And taking somebody out for lunch, or dinner or any of that really doesn't work, because the way our society is evolving with the social media stuff and all of that, people are looking for value, right? That's the most important thing. People have a lot of problems. The problems are growing, and they need help, and they're looking for people with value. And the value is not drinks, not lunch, not restaurants, none of that. You should save that to do that with your friends and family, or with your private clients who you are appreciating taking them out, and that's totally fine. But with cold prospect, you want to focus on value. And what I see works great is asking for a short 15 minutes intro call. Go on the call, introduce yourself, learn a little bit about them, qualify them a little bit, and see if they are a fit to do more business with you, and then bring them to your office for a meeting. I have a client who's been doing that now, works great. And I personally just do that. I don't meet anybody now. I don't go out of my home. As you can see, I'm working from my home, and I work with clients in across like US and Canada, and we are expanding now as well. And our focus is like focus on value. Like, what do advisor want? Well, they want clients. Okay, how can we help them? We can help them with creating, strategies using platform like LinkedIn and Facebook. And the value I can offer to advisor is get on a call with me so that I can learn a little bit about them and tell them some approach and strategy I take and see if this is a fit. And of course, it's not a fit for most advisor because of the strategy, the price point, and all of that. And that's fine. But it's a value-based conversation, and I make sure that every call I get on with people, I'm offering them insight, value, opening up their mind to what potential they have. And similarly, advisors have a lot of knowledge about financial planning, retirement planning, estate planning, tax strategies, market, portfolio management. There's a lot of value that you have as an advisor if you're watching the video, and you should be offering some insight to people, and always obviously a follow-up emails with some additional information. And it works better than coffee, lunch, drinks. It'll save you a bit of money as well that you can use now on LinkedIn subscription, perhaps running some paid advertising. So you can really get smart about your money, and more importantly, get smart about your time, because this way you can get in front of more people, you can close more deals, and you can achieve your goal, personal goal, and make sure that you're really becoming the top producer in your firm. And making the best use of time is by far the most important strategy. So get out of your obsession and syndrome of asking for in-person meetings and all of that, and think about it if this is something that you want to implement. But I thought I'll share something that is working quite well with some advisors, and they're starting to really see a big change in the social interaction, because there's no borders now. You can talk to so many people. Advisors can really go outside their state, find clients, and do business. And I am a client of many advisors, or one advisor. I do have people I work with. I have a real estate portfolio, so I work with lawyers, I work with banks, I work with advisors, all of that. So I'm making big decision as a user or as a customer, and I prefer not meeting anybody. I don't even meet my accountant, and he's been after me to have an in-person meeting because I just see no value. We can get everything done. We have I bought large apartment buildings for millions of dollars, and we just do everything remotely because you can. So why meet? And there is a time and reason to meet and do things in person. And that's not the time when you're meeting total strangers first time, trying to get something going with them to see if they are a fit. So think about it if this is something you want to use. If not, totally cool. Thanks a lot for watching the video. If you have any questions, if you're an advisor, if you need help to get more clients, get more prospects, get more meetings through the use of social media, reach out to me, send me a message, and we'll talk and see if this is something I can help you or not. So thanks a lot for watching the video. Hope you found it useful, and if so, please share, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you.